Name is David Valenzuela. Lived on all my life mostly here in Las Lunas, except 4.5 years lived in Wisconsin. Went to an apprenticeship program over there, and I came back and got involved with General Electric in the running furnaces. Because that's what I did on my apprenticeship program. I was like a tooling, like above tooling over. As a pattern maker. And then came back, retired from General Electric. It was 19 years last week. And I remember when I was small, we used to go sell to the Indians. They're by Grants, Gallup, Laguna, Acoma, Badville, all the small towns we used to go. And then, or he would trade like for turquoise, bracelets, rings, and or lambs. We always used to bring like baby lambs from the Indian. He would make more money selling turquoise like at the courthouse. He did like to the policemen. He had their guns, their handles of the guns, all turquoise by some Indians and everything. I even still have some bracelets at home that I got. Don Pascual Road, about a mile north from there. There's a four-way stop sign right there. I live in the corner. So my dad, my uncle, they all had gardens. Uncle Alifaz, he had a bunch of chili. He would grow chili too. He would sell chili all over. We would sell like to the cafes, restaurants in Albuquerque, in the South Valley. It was really nice. Well, since early in the morning, before I used to go to school, we had to go pick chili or something every day. We used to sell to all the stores, and I don't think we used to sell to Simon Newstead, but mostly to Henry's, to a bunch of small stores he would sell to, even there in the South Valley. And then there was like fruit stand, like the Ziegler fruit stand. There used to be a size fruit stand on 314, and there used to be another Ziegler farm, George Ziegler, and then there used to be Ernest Ziegler here. You know the stand right there across the street from here? That Snake Ranch, that's a Ziegler. That's a probably great grandson. He always, no, he died there. He liked to travel. You could sometimes go by himself all the way. I don't know how he would find the roads out there to them Indians, but he knew where all those little back roads were. He'd never get lost. He'd come up back home back. Says start loading with big chili, and by the time he come back, load it again so he can go the following day. And that's what he was doing when he got killed. It was Thanksgiving Day, and me and my mama got to Oklahoma City to visit my sister. And we had just gotten over there when they called us that my dad got killed now. Yes, she lived right here on Los Lentes Road down south, about a mile south. No, well, I learned a lot from my dad and my uncle on butchering hogs, matanzas. We have one, I had one like for 40 years, but it was getting to be too big already. I was getting like 300 people to a matanza. Now my daughter lives next door, so now I gave her all my tables and everything so she can keep the tradition. I said, I put all my stuff away. Later, you can use all the stuff and every knives, those big kettles to make chicharrones, all that. Every year, they used to make chicharrones, make all that meat, save all the lard for the whole year. Like I said, I lived here all my life, and not like the old town thing, but getting way too big now. Too big, and like it where all my grandchildren are taking over. They're holding the matanzas and everything. Like and my daughters, she's taking over and everything. Yeah, she's got foster kids. I just went to go watch them play basketball a while ago. The foster kids. 'Cause all her kids are the oldest one's like 28, and he's got three little kids. I married a girl with Jordan, but they got a little baby, 5, 6 months old now. That'd be my first great granddaughter. And then the girl had two little kids before.
My name is Rebecca Ortiz. My grandmother was Catherine Gallegos, my grandfather Eligio Gallegos, and they had a home on Route 66, which then at that time was called Highway 85, and now it's Road 314. And it was up going, if you're going north to Isleta, it was next door to Felix Baca's tow yard. That's what we used to call it. And they were, when my grandparents, Eligio and Catherine, got married, they said Joseph Tondry, which was my grandmother's brother-in-law, gave them that property. The White House west of the Luna Mansion, according to what I've found out, it was built in 1910 by Jesus, and he lived there, and plus he had a gas station when it was really old, because he died in 1937. He had a gas station in front, and then he had cabins he would rent people coming through Route 66 for $3 a night. But there were cabins, I guess, to the side or the back of that property. But we have a picture of my great uncle, and he's standing in front of the home, and it says his dad, which would have been Jesus Gallegos, built it in 1910. And then I think after that, the family of Archuletas, which owned the bar that was next to the Luna Mansion, bought the house. No, that's what's funny. They never did talk about it, but my great grandfather Jesus died in a kind of an awful accident going to pick up a block of ice from the land. So I don't know if that's why then it was too sad to talk about any of the thing he did. It's because he passed away and he was only 65 after the ice hit him in the back of the head and severed his spinal cord. So then they didn't really talk about him, and I think it just made everybody too sad. Yeah. So I never heard, the only story I heard was before my father, who was not a resident of Los Lunas, met my mother at Eastern University in Portales. And then he came to visit her in Los Lunas and stayed at one of the cabins. Okay, so this is my grandmother and grandfather. This is Catherine Gallegos Eligio, and this is their 50th wedding anniversary in 1977. So they were married in 1927. I think you have a picture of them when they got married. And then this is Catherine Gallegos, of course. She was a school teacher here when she started. She was only 17, and there was a one-room schoolhouse down Los Lentes, and she started teaching there. And then those are her parents. Her father was Stephen Powers, and they were originally from Las Vegas, New Mexico. And my grandmother, which was Neville Pendleton, and they came from Las Vegas. He was a civil engineer, and a lot of the bridges in Las Vegas, my brother said when he went to visit, have his name on it, Stephen Powers, because he did a lot of the bridges out there. We actually lived at the home, my grandmother, on 314 or Route 66 for a while. My aunt said that my grandfather had built on the porch. There was a porch on the front, and it had this circle windows, and he used, I forgot what they called it, that wood that you can kind of mold to make the circles, and then it was all screened in. Yeah. So that was really interesting. So this one is my grandfather's, the one who owned the home or built it. So that's Jesus Gallegos, and there's my grandfather Eligio. And so they're holding my mother, and she was born in 1930, and that's my great grandmother Martina. She was Martina Gallegos. He was my grandfather Eligio's brother, standing in front of the home. Yeah.
That was built
he died when he was 95, and so they interviewed him, I believe, in 2004 here at the museum. But here's where he put Jesus Gallegos residence on Main Street, built in 1910. They have actually the postcard they've made here at the museum that they sell. That was his gas station. So then that would have been, the Luna Mansion would have been over here on this side.
My name is Terry Lehigh, and I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, but moved down here about 2000. So it's a historical building built in 1912. Mr. Romero and his Greek bride Paella actually built it as a Greek restaurant. It was called the White Cafe, and they did it because of the not the rail runner, but the train station right there would come and it would bring people right here to the restaurant. So that was what it was originally. I actually have not made any changes to the building itself. We are not allowed to per the historical code. So the outside must stay the same as it was back in the day. As far as the inside, I didn't need to do anything to it. It suited our needs perfect. So we've actually left it the way that we found it. What originally attracted me to the building was the edges up top. The scalloped edges on there, I didn't realize what they were at the time. I just thought it was unique as opposed to all the other buildings in Los Lunas. And so when we saw it go up for rent at first, I thought I've got to get my foot in the door there. And actually what it is it mimics the Greek Isles because that's what it was a Greek restaurant. Well, my business, being a candy store, started out that way, and we have been here now 9 years. We've been very blessed by the community, and everybody likes us, so that's a plus. We did start making the pickles, which you can see behind me, so we like to say our candy store gave birth to a pickle business. So we have that going, and it's a lot of fun. We're in business not to be wealthy, not to do anything like that. We just wanted to be in the community. So we do a lot of fundraising for the kids. We do a lot with the school system and a lot with Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you name it. We're all about trying to help the kids out. That's why it's a candy store. The best part about owning the shop here in Los Lunas on Route 66 is exactly it. You're part of history. We get to be literally on Main Street. So the little hometown candy shop on Main Street is what we're all about. And that's what really drew me to the area, to the building, to the town, everything. I just wanted to be on Main Street. We really love being here. It's hard in a small town to own a business and be a small family-owned business. But our community is awesome for us. They've kept us going now, going on 9 years, and hopefully another 19 more as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
So we're happy about it.
I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm happy.
So that's what I'd really like to tell the young people. If you have your grandparents, ask them everything you can now. Write it down or videotape them.